Hi everyone, I'm Ezraella. My dad, Pastor Kwame, and his friend Mike just had another great Bible study, this time about the prodigal son. Trust me, it's deep. Now George and Victoria are here to tell you all about it. You're gonna love this one.
Hey friends, welcome back to this episode of Perspectives with Victoria and George. We're here to unpack some lessons that resonate deeply with many of us, especially in this season of introspection.
That's right, Victoria. Today we're diving into a Bible study led by Pastor Kwame and Mike that gave us some profound takeaways. Let's get started.
First up is a theme that speaks volumes: stuff versus life. In the story of the prodigal son, both sons were caught up in the stuff. The younger son demanded his inheritance, while the older brother resented not getting more. It's all about how possessions can sometimes cloud our relationships.
Absolutely. The key takeaway here is understanding that spiritual maturity or personal growth involves learning to value people over possessions. It's a tough lesson, but one that can reshape our priorities profoundly.
You know, it reminds me of this old saying, you can't take it with you. Isn't it interesting how often we forget that? At the end of the day, what really matters are the connections we build, not the material things we accumulate.
Right. Now, let's talk about our second takeaway. Love doesn't control. What really shocked us was how the father in this story allowed his younger son to leave with that inheritance.
Exactly. He wasn't fixated on the material possessions he was giving away. His focus was on the son he might lose. That's love in its purest form. It's about giving others the freedom to make their own choices, even if that means they might stray away.
And it poses a great question. How often do we attempt to exert control over the ones we love, thinking it's for their own good?
Such a powerful reflection, George. We sometimes confuse love with control, and in doing so, we miss the true essence of love, which is to support and accept freely.
This brings us to our third takeaway. Failure can be mercy. Imagine if the prodigal son had actually succeeded in his ventures.
It's a startling thought. If he had found success, he might never have returned to his father. Sometimes it's our failures that bring us back home, closer to the very people we may have overlooked.
The imagery of the pigpen in the parable is particularly striking. It's where the son found himself at his lowest point, but it was also a blessing in disguise, a turning point.
Absolutely. It teaches us that our lowest moments can sometimes pave the way for grace, forgiveness, and a fresh start. It's a powerful reminder that failure isn't the end. It can be a doorway to recovery.
And that leads us to a listener question. What about the older son? This brings up an interesting dynamic. Many listeners might feel it's unfair that the older brother didn't get celebrated as much when his younger brother returned.
It's true, but we need to consider a deeper truth here. Celebrating the one who is lost doesn't mean we overlook the one who has stayed. Jesus once said, "The healthy don't need a doctor, but the sick do."
Exactly. The older brother's struggle is not uncommon. He couldn't separate his brother's soul from the checklist of wrongdoings. A mature brother would have seen that family ties transcend mistakes.
If you think about it, a truly mature response would be for the older brother to say, "I'd give up my own inheritance just to have my brother back safe and sound." It's an amazing insight into embracing unconditional love.
Such profound lessons to reflect on. So let's leave our listeners with some reflection questions. Do I value people more than possessions? Have I misunderstood God's love as control? Am I holding resentment like the older son? And lastly, what failures have become pathways to grace?
These questions can really help us evaluate our own lives and relationships. As you journey through these reflective thoughts, remember, whether you've stayed or strayed, the Father's arms are always open.
That's right. Love, grace, and acceptance are at the heart of this parable, and they resonate deeply within our relationships today. Thank you for joining us on this enlightening journey through the parable of the prodigal son.
We hope you take these insights and reflections into your week. Until next time, keep seeking those deeper truths.